Okay, hi, this is a question GCSE Mathematics, Intermediate paper, you on the higher paper as well. Okay, it's obviously a pair of simultaneous equations, and they're asking us to solve them using an algebraic, not graphical method. So I'm just going to go through the motions on how to do that. Now the first thing I always do is label the equations 1 and 2. Then we need to look at the x's and the y's. Now you can eliminate the x's or the y's, okay, because I'm going to use the elimination method. There is another method called substitution, but the elimination method is easier, I think, in many ways. Now, you could decide to eliminate the x's or the y's, but I'm just going to focus on eliminating the y's. Some of my pupils prefer to do that because they haven't got to make the decision then. They can just concentrate on getting the y's every time. So we've got different numbers of y's at the moment in both of our equations. So the first thing we need to do is to make them equal. Now the easiest way of doing that is to times equation 1 by 3, which is the number in front of y in the second equation. I ignore the negative. I'm just going to multiply by positives, so I'm going to change any signs. And multiply equation 2 by 4, which is the number in front of y in the first equation, the coefficient of y. Okay, when we do that, we will obviously equate the y's, because we'll have 4 times 3, we'll have 12y, and we'll have 3 times 4, we'll have 12y. So let's do that. Now when you multiply this equation by 3, you've got to multiply everything by 3. So 3 times 3x is 9x, 3 times plus 4y is plus 12y, 3 times 7 is 21. Now I'm going to label that equation 3, just because it looks a bit different. It's an equivalent equation to equation 1, but because it looks different, I'm going to call it 3. Let's multiply equation 2 now by 4. 4 times 2x, 8x. 4 times minus 3y is minus 12y. And 4 times 16, 4 tens are 40, 4 sixes are 24, 64. I'm going to call that equation 4. Okay, I'll draw a line under those two now. And now we decide whether to add or subtract the equations to eliminate my y's. Now, if we use a bit of logic and a bit of common sense, if I add plus 12 to minus 12, that's going to give me 0, and that's what I want. If I made the mistake of subtracting, then what I would get would be 12, take away minus 12. Well, when you subtract a negative, that has the effect of adding, and I'd end up with 24y. So, different signs, add them, but use a bit of logic. Plus 12 added to minus 12 is obviously 0. So I'm going to write on the side here, equation 3 plus equation 4. Now I really harp on about this, about using the labels and saying what you're doing as you go through these equations, these simultaneous equations, because it helps you remember the next step. So when we add these two equations, we have 9x plus 8x is 17x. Plus 12y added to minus 12y is nothing, that's why we did it. 21 plus 64 is of course 85. Now I like this because I know 17 divides into 85. And what I've got here is a mini equation with x in it, and I've got to solve this to find x. So what I do is divide by 17, like that, and divide that by 17. That gives me x, and that gives me a nice 5. And I'll just check. 5 times 17, 5 tens are 50, 5 sevens are 35, is my 85. Right, so I've got x equal to 5. That's 2 marks out of 4 already, because I've got one of the values. I didn't say this at the start, but solving a pair of simultaneous equations is finding the value of x and the value of y. We have 2 unknowns, right? Well, I've got one of them, I've got x. Now, once we have x, we use x to find y. And I always use equation 1. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to substitute, so I'm going to write subs for short, x equal to 5 into 1. So I'm using the label for equation 1. And I'm writing down what I'm doing. That helps me remember. If I always do that, it helps me remember the next step. So 3x plus 4y equals 7 is equation 1. Instead of x, I put the value. Replace the letter with brackets, put the value inside, and I get that. Then 3 times 5 is 15, plus 4y equals 7. Now I have a little linear equation with y as the unknown, and I need to solve that to find y using the normal balance method. Get rid of the 15 first. Remember, the number attached to your letter is the last number you get rid of. Take away 15 on that side. That's gone. That gives me 4y is minus 8. 7 minus 15 is minus 8. Again, I like that because I know 4 goes into 8. Well, what I need to do now, divide by 4, because 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 1y is y, and that's what I want. Minus divided by a plus is a minus. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Notice again, like I always break things up, do the signs, do the numbers, do the letters, if you're simplifying with indices and that type of thing. So I have my y value. Now there's my other 2 marks. That's 4 out of 4. But, just to be sure, I could do a check. Okay, and you should always do this check. Now I always check in equation 2. So, if we look at equation 2, we have 2x minus 3y is 16. 2x minus 3y is 16. So 2x minus 3y equals 16. So what I need to do is put my x value in there, put my y value in there, and hopefully I'll get 16. If I do, I know it's right. So 2 times 5, that was my x. My y was minus 2. So that equals 16. So that's 10. Minus times minus is a plus. 3 2s are 6. Yes, that's equals to 16. Lovely. So I'm going to finish off just by putting my answers here nice and neatly on the side for the examiner to see. X equals 5. Y equals minus 2. And a nice curly bracket around that. My maths teacher always told me that, and I've always stuck to it. So there we have it. Solving a pair of simultaneous equations using algebraic method. Okay, hope that helps. Thank you very much.